Hello everyone, I'm coming to you live from this Eileen Fisher store right now, and we're seeing a lot of layers, we're seeing a lot of fabric, and we're seeing a lot of linen. Now, we have not found our way out yet, but we are looking and we are trying. This is a very frightening place, the prices are really high, and the clothes are very plain. Okay, sorry. I know that Eileen's like the one that we like dog on all the time, but you know, she's got her people. People like her. How is everyone? I don't know where I am right now in this video and in the like footage that you're looking at right now, but currently I am in our filming room and I am in front of the same wall that we always film at, but we got a green screen. So I am in front of our new green screen right now. I have a feeling that like my editing tools aren't the most bougie, so there probably is like this slight glow of green with me right now, but just bear with me. First time trying this out, and there's a reason behind it. So I just picked up this green screen from Amazon earlier in the week. There is actually another video coming up that I'm gonna need it for as well, but it is necessary for this one too. Coming up is going to be a video where I rank and go through old Bolo brands or just Bolo brands that we talked about in our own videos, and I rank them as to like if they still are, if they kind of are, if they're a no-lo now, that type of stuff. And I'm gonna need to show you like the live action ranking as we're going through it. But today, as you saw by the title, we're gonna be going through an old haul of mine. Old in quotations, or in, it's hardly old. It actually, the part 1 of it went up January 25th and the part 2 went up February 2nd. So it's a pretty recent haul, but this is a haul that I would consider one of the best that I've had in a really long time. Now, of course, I consider quite a few of my hauls to be quite good, but this one was just super good and had a lot of stuff in it. And so I thought it would be the perfect candidate to take a look back at and see where I'm sitting at with my profits, losses, updates on the items, what happened to them, where'd they go, did they sell, how quickly did they sell, that type of thing. So I've done this one other time before, and it was a little lackluster compared to what I think I was expecting out of it, but I have a feeling with this one that it is not going to be the same situation. This was just such a solid, good haul that there's just no way that this could end up being lackluster. I'm actually gonna kind of be reacting live with you guys to the actual profit numbers and stuff like that. The only thing I've done is put down the costs, put down what it sold for if it is sold, put down what it was listed at or is listed at, and then put down why it hasn't sold, where it sold, where it went, that type of thing. So I have not done the numbers yet besides the costs. So we're gonna live while filming do the math and see how good this haul really was. Was I blowing smoke out of my butt, or was this actually a really good haul? Anyways, the reason we need the green screen, I feel like I'm not getting to any of these points, I'm just like starting ideas. The reason we need the green screen is because I'm gonna be down, I guess, in like the corner of the screen right here, me right now, and we're gonna like kind of like watch through the haul, or like kind of like look at screen grabs of the haul while I talk about the item. Anyways, again, I don't know where I edited myself to be while doing this whole entire intro. Bear with me. First time trying this concept. I'm actually weirdly like nervous about this. So let's give it a shot, shall we? First, teleport me to Mars. I'm just kidding. I'm just staring at a big green, like I can feel the green emanating from behind me, and on the like viewfinder on my phone camera, it's just green and it's a lot. Ryan would be in heaven, but I am off put. Okay, so let's begin this. Jack, please open up the haul part 1. I unfortunately didn't write down where they stopped or started. So how this is gonna work is we're gonna go through each item throughout the haul. I'm not gonna tell you the cost of it because it's bins prices. At my bins, it is $2.19 a pound when you get as much as I did. I'm gonna tell you what they sold for, what I listed them at, and again, why, where, etc. And then at the end, I will tell you the full cost of everything and we will calculate the profit. So the first item that we have in this haul is this pair of CB2 pillowcases. There were 2 of them, exactly the same. And I was quite tempted to keep these, they're really cute, but our household has enough pillows and enough pillowcases to accompany said pillows, so didn't keep those ones. Would have loved to. I listed these at $58 for the set. I listed them together. CB2 is a Crate & Barrel brand, really expensive, and these sold for $40. So $40 is what those sold for, and they did sell on Poshmark. Up next was this Williams-Sonoma tea towel or tea cloth. This I did not earn anything from or list it for anything. It was too like small and whatever, so we just kept it and we use it in the kitchen, just kind of like as an extra towel. Up next was this really large, beautiful Pendleton towel. So this was a towel for interior use. I at first almost thought it was a beach towel because of the size, but this is what they call, there's a name for it, but it's some kind, it's like the sauna towel or something like that, and it's just these huge towels that are literally like a twin size bed size. I kept this, so that I did not list for anything or sell for anything. I am still using that towel and still loving it. Up next, we're finally getting into some stuff that I actually like listed. This Free People green beanie hat. This I listed for $25. These always do well for me, and it ended up selling for $15 very quickly. So that actually sold on Poshmark, which is not surprising for Free People. Next up is this bed stew clutch. This I think was missing maybe a strap that went with it, or it might have went inside of like a tote or something. So I actually handed this off to Debbie. She likes to sell like bags and accessories a lot more than I do. And as you guys know, I give my mother, Debbie, quite a lot of stuff from the bins because she does not go shopping. She also housed me for my like entire life and was my mom and provided for me as a child. So I love to in some way pay her back by giving her like free inventory all the time. So that went to my mother. I have no clue if she sold it yet. I think she did actually quite quickly, but I don't remember what it was for. And yes, I will count the things that I gave to Debbie in my cost of goods, of course. So next up is this Fossil Rose Gold bag. And this I listed for $58. This was like new condition, super modern, super cute. I think like still being sold on Von Maur. And this sold for $38 really quickly as well. And that was another item that sold on Poshmark. Up next was this pair of Ferragamo almond toe heels. These were very dated, very old, but I said in the haul that I really like to rescue luxury pieces if I can. So even if I'm not gonna make a ton, it's just nice to not have them go to like the dump or just some like heap somewhere. So I still like to pick them up and rescue them. So I did that with these, and I sent them to the RealReal because I don't think I could sell that style myself. The RealReal priced them at $45 and they ended up selling at $36. So I get $7.20. I'm sure I've already been paid out. Those actually sold quite quickly on there. So yeah, $7.20 for me. Those probably cost me about $2, so not that big of a deal. Next up was this pair of Birkenstock Roma sandals. And this is gonna be the case for just a few items on here. Please don't like pitchfork chase me as if I'm Frankenstein's monster like throughout the village, but I haven't listed these yet. I have pictures and it's in my phone. I haven't listed them. I don't know if there's a reason, like maybe I didn't take a picture of the size or something, but they're not listed. But it's okay. We're in the season now where they're gonna do good. So I'm gonna make sure I get those listed now. And that's not the last time I'm gonna say that about something in this haul, which is not good. This is from like 3 months ago. That's pretty bad. Up next was this pair of Teeks Burgundy flats. And these I listed at $68. Of course, we all know Teeks, back in the day, you totally could have listed them for more. I could have probably listed them for like, what, $150 and they would have sold overnight, but not anymore. So I listed those at $68 and they ended up selling for $52, and that was another Poshmark sale. Just to be transparent, and I'm sure most of you guys know this, I list on Poshmark first, and then I use my list perfectly to cross post to eBay and sometimes Mercari and every once in a while Vestiaire, but Poshmark is always my home base. Up next, this one's weird. I can't explain this one. So I found these Dolce & Gabbana silver heels. They were very like basic heels. They're silver patent or something like that. I haven't listed them. I haven't listed them. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I even have pictures of these. I would have thought that I sent these to the RealReal maybe, but I checked and the RealReal does not have them and never has. I gotta look into that one. That's a bad one. That's, oops, sorry. Up next, another pair of shoes. I found these Cezanne croc embossed boots. Now these I wanted to list quickly because I don't find Cezanne very often, and when I do, it does really well, and I love to sell Cezanne. So I listed these boots at $130, which I think is pretty fair. And they actually ended up selling for $100. And that was once again very, very quickly. So those also sold on Posh. Most of the stuff that sold quick is going to be a Poshmark sale because I didn't even have the time to cross post them. Next up was this J. Crew plaid men's blazer. So I love to sell J. Crew blazers, specifically women's. I don't always love selling men's. I will, and especially if it's like newer or really cute or really good style, I will. But I decided after like a while that I didn't want to sell this one. So I gave this also to Debbie, which is great because they still do well. They still obviously like have a lot of value. I don't know if she sold it yet, but I'm happy to pass that on to her. Then we have this Paul Smith pair of fish graphic shorts. And this is the first time we're running into this situation. So I also have a habit of deciding after like a week to just consign stuff. Like I might not even have it posted yet. If stuff just ever randomly like disappears from the haul and you never see it posted, that's probably why, because I just randomly was like, nah, I want to consign that. That's what happened with these. And what I'm gonna do for this, since I don't know how much I'm making from consigning at Turnstile, I'm basically gonna like zero out the consignment pieces. Cause I know I'm gonna make at least what I paid for them. Like say those were $1 or less. I'll count them as $1, but I'll say that I like profited $1 on them. I don't know how to explain that, but hopefully you guys kind of understand what I'm saying. Is anyone like, is anyone still watching? I feel like you all are probably like, this is a mess. Get me out of here. Up next was this liquid blue skull graphic t-shirt. This I listed for $35 and it has not sold yet, so there is no profit to report on that one. Up next was this DeMarchi wool polo. This was a brand that's for like biking, like cycling biking, not like motorcycle biking. It's quite expensive stuff. This is something I handed off to Debbie. Sometimes if something's a little more obscure, I just don't want to deal with it. And I'd rather like quickly list stuff than like have to do all this research into a bunch of stuff. So I handed that off to her because it seemed like it had some value. Next up were these Lululemon red men's pants. These I listed for $50 and they actually haven't sold yet, which kind of surprised me. I was assuming they had, but they had not when I checked. Then was this Portuguese flannel black button shirt. This I said in the video I was going to keep for myself, and I was going to, but I have a tall torso and it was way too short for my torso. So I listed it for $40 and it sold for $40. I believe I talked about this brand on a men's bolo. Up next is this pair of Chubbies swim trunks. These were like a tribal print, really cute. Chubbies, as you guys know, is one of my favorite men's brands to sell. Listed these at $35. They sold for $30 quite quick as well, and that was on Poshmark. Then I found a ton of Lululemon shorts, and the first pair was this longer pair of black shorts. These I listed at $35 and they have not sold yet. Men's Lulu doesn't do that good for me. Not really any Lulu does that good for me. Then there was this pair of Lululemon camo, kind of black speckly shorts. These ones I kept. I do go to the gym, as you guys know, and it's nice to just find some really cheap Lululemon shorts. And then next up was this Lululemon pair of black shorter shorts, and Ryan took and kept these, which I think I said in the haul he was probably gonna do. Sure enough, he did. And last up for those shorts were these blue tie-dye ones. These are also listed at $35 and they also have not sold. If anyone's husband or son needs some new Lulu shorts, literally on either of those pair, go offer me like 18, 16, like I don't know. I don't really care. I just get them out of my life. I had this pair of Free People green camo cargo pants. These actually ended up having a hole in them, but I still listed them anyways. That kind of explains this lower price. So I listed them at $30. Otherwise, I probably would have done like $40. And they did sell actually really quick anyways for $24. So that was on Poshmark. That's great, especially with the hole. Then I found this Anthropologie Ava Franco chevron kind of denim skirt. I listed this at $40 and this has not sold yet, but that's okay. We're like just getting into like skirt season. Up next, Madewell slubbed mustard pants. These recently sold, so I had these listed at $35 and they sold for $35, which like Madewell is not a brand to sell full asking price very often, but those sold on Poshmark and they did last long enough for me to cross post them everywhere, and I did go delete them all, which the one thing I can pat myself on the back for, because usually I'm very bad at doing that. Next up, Anthropologie blue stripe pants. So these ones, I for some reason decided that I wanted to consign. I think it's just because they were kind of like a slim, skinny jogger style, which isn't really in right now. And any of the animal prints aren't super in either. So I thought that I would just consign them, and that's what I did with those. Everlane black bootcut jeans. I listed these at $50. That's kind of like always around where I start Everlane jeans, and some go quick, some don't. Just kind of like each one's different. So these actually have not sold yet. Then some Athleta floral shorts. These I listed at $30, and actually a Instagram friend of mine wanted to purchase them, so I gave her a really cheap price of $15. Of course, I'm still profiting that way anyways, but those sold for $15, and that was on Posh really quickly. Then these Madewell Perfect Vintage jeans. These are also listed at $50. Madewell jeans I usually start between like $46 and $56 depending on the style, and so these are literally right in between at $50, and they actually have not sold yet, but this is a style that does really well for me, and these are getting a lot of likes, so I'm sure they will sell in not too long. Next up were the Ganni green stripe pants. Now that is a great find. I wish I could find Ganni more often. I listed these at $90, and they ended up selling for $76. Decently quick. I would say that those took closer to like 3 weeks a month maybe, and those also sold on Poshmark, which is not surprising at all to me, but like that's something I maybe would have put on Vestiaire if I had gotten to cross-posting that. Then I found these Athleta leopard tights. These I listed at $35, and shockingly these sold for $35. Again, Athleta is not a brand that I picture selling for full asking price, so that's fantastic. And those sold on Posh. Anthropologie Mauve black pants. These I listed at $46, and I know they seem very plain, but they were very modern. I think they were really recent, like from being on the website. They were so nice. Like they were a thicker material. They were perfect for like work or something. So that's why I listed those a bit higher. And they sold for $39, which I assume is an offer I sent out. And those also sold on Poshmark. Then I had found these Levi's jean shorts. As you guys know, I've been putting all my jean shorts on Marketplace. I haven't talked about it like too deep, but I've kind of like touched on it a few times. But I've been cutting up jeans, I've been making jean shorts, selling jean shorts on Marketplace. I always list it all at $10. I do Madewell, I do Abercrombie, Levi's, and American Eagle. Everything's $10. It's kind of like a side hustle to my side hustle. So that sold on Marketplace for $10. Next up, Lululemon floral multi-color leggings. Here is an example, a direct example of how Lulu does not sell well for me at all. These are so cute, these are so modern, and these should do so good. And they're listed at $40, but they have not sold, and I don't even think they have that many likes. So $20 if you want them, go take them. Or else I'm literally just gonna consign those soon because I'm sick of them. Getting so tired of Lulu, and consignment stores love it. So I hardly even want to try it anymore unless it was like a trench coat or something super substantial. Then was these Anthropologie Hey Hey or Hi Hi lavender joggers. I'm still waiting for someone to tell me how it's said because I don't know. And I always say Hey Hey or Hi Hi because I don't know. I listed these at $35. That's a very like average price that I list my Free People and Anthro pieces at. Almost everything is like $35 unless it's like interesting. These sold for $27. That was pretty quick, but lavender usually does. That's like a color that just does well, so that wasn't too surprising. Reformation tie-dye joggers. These I listed at $46, and these actually sold in a bundle. It must have been maybe to one of you guys, because I think 2 things sold together from the haul in this bundle. These basically sold for $32, and so that was on Posh. This Free People Beach Rust maxi skirt. I love Free People Beach. It does so well for me. That is something I usually would price over $35, but this was just a plain skirt, so I did price this at $35 too. It sold really quick for $31, and I'm assuming that's an offer that I sent out, and that was on Posh. Then to one of you guys, I sold this vintage batik wrap skirt. This I listed at $40, and it sold for $32. I was really excited to find that. Sold on Poshmark. True Religion logo swim cover. I actually never ended up listing this or even taking, well, maybe I had pictures, but I never listed it. I was like, you know what? I have so much to list. I just gave it to Ryan, and I think he said he just just took pictures of it like last week. So that'll be in his closet soon. Patagonia long down puffer coat. This I listed at 58 and it sold for 58, and that sold on Posh. Mayfair Group graphic hoodie. This is actually a total Bolo brand. If you missed like the What Sold Saturday where we talked about it and stuff, this did so well, and it was listed at 46 and it sold for 37, but it had a ton of likes. It was doing really good on Mercari as well. That one maybe took like 3 weeks to a month to sell, but it still moved quite fast for just being like a graphic hoodie. Then this Zara tan plaid light blazer. I believe I had this listed for a while, probably around like 35 bucks, but I have now consigned it because it was not doing well. I don't really know why. I thought that would do well. It was the new Zara label, but it just kind of like with Lulu, it feeds into my concept that Zara is not worth paying anything for unless it's in the bins. BDG color block flannel shirt. I was surprised by how well this did. This I listed at 38. And it sold for $30 on Mercari. So that's fantastic. And I'm really happy about that. It sold super, super quick too. 360 cashmere tan turtleneck. This one was actually a disposal or a redonation. This was really flawed that I didn't know about. It had a lot of like moth holes and stuff all over it. And it was pilly, which I think I knew about the pilliness, but I didn't know about all the holes. There was probably even some stains to it too. So I was like, this is more work than it's worth. So I donated that. 360 sweater striped sleeve sweater. This I listed at 30 and nothing has happened with it. So 360 sweater is not really that great of a brand, but it retails for a lot. J. Crew red cashmere sweater. This took me a little bit to get listed because it was quite pilly, and I shaved it up finally and listed it at 35, but I would say that that's only been listed for maybe a month, so that has not sold. Vince textured hoodie sweater. That I ended up consigning. I just didn't really like the style of it, and it wasn't like cashmere or anything, so I consigned it. Zara white midi dress. A lot of times, which is another thing you guys probably know, I will give my Zara to Debbie, and that applies to this dress. It just wasn't as substantial as I would have liked, so I did give it to her. Jack BB Dakota plaid moto jacket. I did give this a shot because this was actually Evereve, but nothing happened with it. It didn't sell, so I did end up consigning that too, and they did take it, so that's nice. This vintage jack-o'-lantern sweatshirt I have listed at 46. It hasn't sold yet, but that's understandable. It's not Halloween season yet. Sometimes vintage Halloween stuff does sell throughout the year, but obviously like not everything does. So I'm sure that will sell coming up here in the next couple months. Michael Simon abstract cardigan. I listed this at 90 because it was really chunky and I really didn't want to hold on to it for too long. I wanted it to sell quick. So this was like price to sell because Michael Simon, especially something like this that's like not his diffusion line, could go for a lot more, but I just didn't want to wait. So I listed it at 90, sold for 70 quite quick. That was on Posh. Up next was this Yumi Kim velvet dress, and this has not been listed, but that is because it has a flaw that needs to be fixed at a tailor, and I do not go to the tailor very often, so I keep a pile and I just haven't brought it in yet, which is fine by me. Like, that's okay. If any of you have ever wondered this is not okay. If any of you have ever wondered what happened to that Loewe like military jacket that I found in the bins, that's still in a pile to go to the tailor. I get a lot of inventory in and I'm not always the fastest with like fixes. So again, cue chasing me through the streets with pitchforks. Up next was this Acorn brand vintage sheep sweater. This had a lot of flaws and I knew that when I picked it up. So I told you guys in the video, I'm gonna list this for 15. Whoever takes it gets it. Listed it at 15, sold at 15. I think actually Melanie bought that. A lot of you had liked it, so I'm sure someone else would have picked it up too, but yeah, I couldn't ask for more because like it needed quite a bit of like stitching and love to fix her back up. Up next, Free People Movement zip sweatshirt. This had a few more flaws and like pilly spots than I would have liked, so I was gonna get rid of it, but I offered it to Debbie and she took it. Massimo Alba cashmere sweater. This took me a little while to list too because this was once again something I needed to sweater shave, but I did get it shaved saved up, listed it at 100, and it sold for 80 pretty quickly after I posted it. Marina Rinaldi Cashmere Poncho. This I have listed for 200. It does have a chunk of likes, but it's not the most trendy, popular, luxury, bougie brand that there is, and 200 is quite pricey, so I'm gonna have to sit on that for a while. I'm still sitting on it because it has not sold yet. This Pottery Barn linen robe, I listed at 35 and it sold really quickly for 28. That was on Poshmark. Free People Twist Detail Sweater. This I had listed for a little while. I've had this style before. Anytime I have it, it doesn't do good, so I ended up giving that to Debbie. Evereve gold sweater. This was right when I was starting to really love Evereve, which I still do, but I was like just starting to get on the bandwagon. Listed this at 35, sold for 24 really quick. That was on Poshmark. Another Evereve piece, it was this pink kind of slubbed cotton blouse. This I listed at 35 and it actually did sell for the full price, $35, which is fantastic. That was on Poshmark. That was really quick. Free People New with Tag hoodie. This was, I think, intimately free. It was very soft, very nice. And this I listed at 68 because, again, it was like really nice. It was new with tag, so I thought it was worth pricing up. Sure enough, sold for 61. That was probably an offer that I sent out because like usually my first offers are about 10% off. So that was on Poshmark. Now we have a few pieces that I do have listed, but have not sold yet. Free People multicolor flannel. I'm kind of surprised by this. I listed this at 40 because I think it's a bit cuter than other pieces. It has not sold. This Free People camo burnout tee. This I listed at 35. I'm not as surprised by this one not selling yet because it's a little like unsubstantial, but I know it has some likes and those do usually still sell in the end. This The Shirt Rochelle Barons. Totally first time trying this brand, but it's a really expensive brand. This I have listed for 46. Once again, it is doing quite well, so it's not sold yet, but hopefully it will soon. This Cloth and Stone linen striped blouse I have listed for 30, and that also has not sold, but I also had found this Cloth and Stone polka dot tank top that I listed for 30 as well, and that sold for 26 on Poshmark. Up next was this L'Agence off the shoulder dress. I did not like the style of this personally at all. It does not seem like something that would sell for me. So I sent that to the Real. They priced it at 60 and it's actually down to 30, but I don't really care. I just don't think I could sell it. So I'm totally fine with that. It's also being off the shoulder and stuff. I don't think I could get much consigning it. So we'll just leave it with the Real. Okay, just so you guys know, we just have like, I think 20 more things to quickly get through. If you're asleep, set your alarm for like 2 minutes from now, okay? Up next, Rebecca Taylor floral jumpsuit. This I listed at 90 and it sold for 71. That's great because Rebecca Taylor is a hard sell nowadays, but this jumpsuit was so cute. Like, I'm not surprised it sold, and that sold on Poshmark. This Bowden print sleeveless dress I consigned, and I think I said in the video that I probably would end up consigning it. I was right. I consigned that. I didn't really like the style of that one. This J. Crew camel sweater blazer. You guys know I love these so much. I listed this at 50, sold for $39 as they always do, and that sold on Poshmark and that sold quickly. I also found this Anthropologie Maeve mint colored like rib knit sweater. I ended up consigning this. I couldn't really find like a model picture and I didn't really like the style that much and some of the comps were really low. So instead of like listing it and doing all the work, I just consigned it right away. This Pendleton sunflower jacket, I was like, let's give it a shot and let's send it to the Real because they take Pendleton sometimes. Sent it in, they did accept it, they priced it at 65 and it ended up selling for 52. So I get $10.40. That's probably more than I would have got bringing it to my local consignment store. So I'm not mad about that. It was really cute. So that's great. Free People lace trim tunic sweatshirt. This I actually sold and it was a return case was opened because apparently in all the lace around the trim, there were like a bunch of holes that I hadn't noticed. So I told her to just donate it and keep it. So basically I earned nothing and it's as if I donated that. Everlane Renew cream sweatshirt. I priced this at 28 because it's a little bit like matted and it has not sold yet. That I might consign soon. This Lovers and Friends lavender dress, I actually consigned quite quickly. I maybe should have kept it because I had it listed for a little and on Mercari it was getting a lot of attention. So I maybe should have held on to that, but I did consign that. Gap multicolor sweater. I listed this at $38 and it ended up selling for $24. That was actually in a bundle. That was so freaking cute. I would love to find that again. Anthropologie Moth Cold Shoulder Yellow Sweater. This I listed at $35. It has not sold yet. I would consign that, but obviously it's off season right now, so I probably will end up consigning it at some point. RTA Eyelash Sweater. This is a luxury, really expensive brand, but it does not always do that well. So I listed this at $50. It has some likes, but it has not sold yet. This All Saints open cardigan sweater, on the other hand, did fantastic. And I listed this at $56 and it sold at $56 fast on Poshmark. This Free People embroidered dress, I had pictures. I was gonna list it, couldn't find a model picture. Decided that I just really didn't like the style of it that much, so I consigned that. Lane Bryant floral maxi dress. I listed this at $35. It sold wicked fast for $31 on Posh. That was probably like one of the first times I sent offers out on it. This Free People lace purple dress, I just gave to Debbie. Do not really like the style of that, and I didn't want to obviously like just donate it, and I think I tried it at the consignment store and they did not want it. So Free People beach green Henley sweatshirt. Now this is one that I loved, so I did mark this higher because it is one of the cutest Free People pieces I think I've found at the bins. Listed it at $68 and it sold very, very fast for $58. So that's awesome. That sold on Posh. Didn't even have time to cross post it. This Theory black cashmere sweater. It's not listed. It's in this room and it's sweater shaped. So I need to find the pictures and list that. I don't know why it's not listed, but that's not listed either. Anthropologie Pilcrow chunky knit turtleneck. I ended up consigning this. I had it listed for a little, but it is just not a style that does well. So that is at the consignment store currently. Ralph Lauren vintage cottage dress. I was gonna list it myself, but it was the blue label Ralph Lauren. So I was like, I should try to send this to the Real just to see, because it cost me nothing at the bins. Y'all, they priced this thing at $245, which is ridiculous. And because it's ridiculous, it has not sold yet on there, and it's down to $122.50. So somehow we've timed this video where anything that went to the Real and hasn't sold is like at half off right now. So I guess we can calculate the Real like discount calendar because it's been 3 months and it's half off. Good to know. All right, we got like 4 things left. Vori Sherpa men's fleece sweatshirt. I listed this at $90 and Mercari ate that thing up. It sold so fast on Mercari and it had so many likes. It sold for $90. Someone bought it full price. That is great. Smart wool chevron sweater. I knew this would do well. Listed this at $58. Probably the cutest smart wool I've ever found. Sold for $50 on Posh. Really, really fast. Anthropologie fleece teddy coat. I listed this at $80. This has not sold yet. I don't know if like the fleece teddy stuff does super well. There's like a chance I could consign this possibly once we get into the season, but for now it's listed. And yeah. And last but not least was the finale, the Tory Burch fringe belted cardigan. Now this I still have listed. Again, we kind of like were exiting the season as I found this. I have it listed at $118. I still think that that's not a terrible asking price because I think it retailed for about $500. It's the new label and everything. So that's at $118 as she sits at $118. All right. Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna like amputate my own leg. Holy. Hello? Any blood left in there? Okay, so as for the costs, like I said, I did pre-calculate that. The total cost of everything, and this is basically an estimate. Basically. Like, it's pretty close, but it's probably not, like, to the exact dollar. I don't know where the receipt is. I have a billion receipts, but this bins trip basically cost me $175.25. For all of this stuff, which I think is super freaking fair. Like, I mean, look back already look at those Cezanne boots. Quickly, I made over half the money back. So let me do some calculations with you right now. I'm gonna chop it off and like cut it a little, but let me do some calculations and get back to you on the profits. Wowza! Whoa. Okay. This is much better than I even was expecting. Let's first do some fun facts and some numbers, then we'll talk the actual dollars, shall we? So there were a total of 91 items in this entire haul. Actually 92 because I counted the Crate and Barrel pillowcases as one. So there were 92 items total. I ended up keeping 3 for myself or my household. I ended up giving Ryan 2 things, 1 for himself and 1 to sell. I gave Debbie 7 things in the end. I had to dispose of 3 items, and I have not listed 3 items that are totally fine and should be listed. I sent 3 into the RealReal, of which 2 have not sold and 1 did sell, and 1 thing only sold on Mercari. So there are 21 items remaining that I have listed that need to sell through. So if I listed the other 3, there's like 24 items that exist in my household from this haul. As I said, the cost of the goods for this was $175.25. It has been about 3 months since I've had this stuff listed. The profit after selling fees, but before counting the cost of goods. So the profit of everything that is sold, $1,323.28. That is so much better than I thought it was going to be. That is crazy. And if you take the cost of goods off of that for all of the items, so even the stuff that hasn't sold yet, we already are in the green, $1,148.03. So I think labeling this haul as one of my best hauls that I've probably had is not a lie. I think that that is fantastic. In 3 months from one of my hauls, which is like a week of going to the bins, we've already profited $1,148.03. That's freaking amazing, okay? Like, I'm pretty happy with that. So that's all I got for you guys today. I'm sure there's like nobody left. We need to pick like an obscure emoji. If you're still here, leave the bat emoji, okay? Find the emoji in your keyboard and leave the bat emoji. I have a feeling that this is not, the comment section is not a cave full of bats. There's gonna be like 1 or 2 of you guys. So leave the bat emoji to tell me that you actually made it to the results, because I find it hard to believe that anybody did, because this was probably the biggest snooze fest ever. But if you enjoyed this, let me know. What'd you think of the green screen? What'd you think of the haul and the numbers that we're seeing? I'm really, really happy with this. And honestly, with going through and thinking about all the stuff that I decided to consign, all the stuff that I gave to Debbie, gave to Ryan, that I kept to myself, I was like, ooh, I don't think that this is gonna be that good. But this is much better than I even expected. So that's all that I got for you guys today. Hopefully Editing Jack was able to make it through this and this all turned out okay. As a reminder, a second channel video did go up yesterday, but I will see you guys on Sunday for our very first ever What Sold Sunday. I'll see you then with Ryan. Goodbye.